Hi guys and girls, Life Science 7A. Just wanted to make sure you guys had the answers for this chapter challenge. So we were starting here. This was page 114. You have to write the key term that matches the description. Similar body structures. Well, similar and homologous mean the same thing, so that one should be homologous structures. Number two, a change in organism over time is evolution. Number three, the sudden change in a gene is a mutation. Any type of change in genes is a mutation. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Number four, the remains of a once living thing is a fossil. They can be ice, they can be amber, or they can be in sedimentary rock. Number five, the survival of offspring that have favorable traits. That is natural selection. Natural selection is when you are better adapted, you will reproduce at a higher rate. Number six, differences among individuals. We call this variation, like the spots on a leopard or the stripes on a zebra. No longer found as a living species is extinct. Hardened tree sap is called amber. The science that deals with the study of human beings is anthropology. A special trait that helps an organism survive in its environment is adaptation. All right, so you fill in the key term. Body structures that seem to have no function are called vestigial. That could be your appendix, your tailbone. Um, it could be the hind legs of whales or the little tiny bones in snakes that don't appear anymore. The disappearance of all members of a species is extinction. The changes shown in the fossil record of the horse illustrate evolution. So we use that Eohippus, little tiny horse size of a dog, had lots of toes that spread out to the modern day Equus horse that we have today. A group of organisms that look alike and can reproduce among themselves is a species. We are the human species, Homo sapien. Multiple choice. An insect in amber is an example of B, a fossil. Organisms that are no longer found as living are C, extinct. A fossil that forms when organism decays and leaves an opening in the rock is called, that is a mold. A sudden change in a gene is called a demutation. Most fossils are found in C, sedimentary rock. They have to be by sediment deposited by water. The long neck of a giraffe is an example of an A adaptation. It allows it to reach up to the leaves really, really high and feed off of more food sources. The animal with the most complete fossil record is the D horse, starting at Eohippus all the way to the modern Equus. Neanderthals are a type of A, Homo sapiens. They were like what we call cavemen. The science that deals with the study of humans is C, anthropology. Of the organisms listed, the one that is least likely to be found as a fossil is C, a jellyfish. The other ones have hard body parts from bones. Jellyfish are very soft and they decay very, very quickly, so they would be very hard to find as a fossil. Write true if the statement is true and false if it is false, but you have to fix the underlined word. Number 11, sedimentary rocks usually form in water. That is true. They have to have water to deposit the sediment, which is basically like mud carried in the water. Lamarck developed the theory of natural selection. That is false. It was not Lamarck. It was Darwin. Lamarck's the one who said that giraffes just stretch their necks. The change in a species over time is called variation. That is also false. That should be evolution. Survival of the fittest is also known as natural selection. That is true. All modern humans belong to the species Homo sapiens. That is also true. All right, here's our last page. How might homologous structures help prove that certain organisms evolved from a common ancestor? Homologous structures are structures that are very similar in how they are formed. The more similar the structures are, the closer they came from a common ancestor. Like human arms and monkey arms are very similar. We're not the same thing, but they're very similar, so therefore it would indicate that we have some similar ancestry. How might the story of the British peppered moths have been different if the factories burned natural gas? Well, most of us here in Bellwood have natural gas as our heating source. You don't get that black coal smoke that you do when you burn coal. So if there's no coal smoke, no black dust. The trees stay white and the peppered moths stay white and never evolve to that black color and then evolve back. What role does extinction play in evolution? Extinction happens when organisms cannot adapt to the environment that they live in. That not being able to adapt is a part of evolution. So if you're not the strongest, you may disappear. Number 4, explain how do the Galapagos finches support Darwin's theory of natural selection? Well, somewhere along the line, one pair of finches made it to the Galapagos Islands. Those finches went through different species as they moved into different parts of the island, and this is where each species adapted for its own niche, and that's how it supports Darwin's theory. From the type of beaks that they had to where they lived, each type of finch evolved because of the different roles that it took on the island. What role do changes in an organism's living space have on natural selection? As the environment changes, it creates different types of competition. Competition drives natural selection. If we go into a warmer time period, organisms that are evolving to deal with the warmer time. If there was an ice age, organisms that were evolving to deal with the colder temperatures would have a benefit in natural selection. It can also be as simple as just having better camouflage than another organism. How old was the oldest human-like fossil? If you look down here, 4.5 million years old. How many years does this timeline cover? 4.5 million years. Which early humans lived approximately 1.5 million years ago? You come down here, you go to 1.5, so that would be Homo erectus, which means upright walking human. Which appeared first, Australopithecus afarensis or Homo erectus. Australopithecus afarensis came about 2.9 million years ago. Homo erectus was about 1.5 million years ago, so therefore Australopithecus afarensis was way longer ago. How many years after Ardipithecus ramidus period ended did Homo habilis develop? So the Ardipithecus ramidus ended at 4 million years ago. Homo habilis was right around 2.5 million years ago. So 4 minus 2.5 gives you 1.5 million years. Now don't get bent out of shape on these anthropology questions. I did not put very many of them on your test. And until I can see you again, I'm Mr. Hescox. Be good, be safe. I hope this helps.